from Houston, pulling up stats, you'll be pulling in stacks, hitting bookies from the back with no Vaseline. I need green and upsea quantities for a fiend, save the dreams for a king. This is H-Town, home of the lean. Astros is the team, and we rock it. Texans for life, you can't stop it. Together like brothers and bets and jets.
What's going on, sports fans? We are back, week 3 NFL season. Raw Words Podcast, LJ from H-Town, giving you my best prop bets for this Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. And, feeling good about them. Last week we had a little rough week. Where did we go last week? I believe we were 5-3 so far. Let me see what else got on here, man. Yeah, 5-3. I was doing pretty good until I think Raekwon Smith didn't hit his tackles. Will Anderson didn't hit his sack, and Jamar Chase, I believe, didn't hit his receptions. But as far as the other ones that we took, we were pretty money on those. So we went 5-3. Week 2 overall record is 8-5 in 2 weeks in NFL season. So hey, can't complain, winning record. But let's see if we can, get some money today, and have a decent, better record this week. Feeling good. Like I said, I've been crunching the numbers all week. So let's see if we can find some money, man. Let's get into this first game. We have the Chargers and the Vikings going against each other. Both of these teams can put up points, as we know. So I've already jumped on the over 54.5. We do know that for the most part, both of these teams can't run the ball, especially the Vikings. And that's why I believe a lot of passes will be thrown in this game. So we're going to start off with the Chargers. Justin Herbert. Over 37.5 pass attempts, minus 112. That says 1,000. So sorry about that, but it's minus 112 is what I'm saying. Justin Herbert, he's at the top of the league throwing the ball. And like I said, no Eckler today. So that means that's more attempts that he's going to have to throw the ball. He doesn't have a semblance of a run game for the most part. They've been running the ball. They're averaging 147, but a lot of those came in the first game versus Miami because they had 40 attempts. But for the most part, the Vikings, as we know, they can't run the ball as well. So I'm going to get to that other side. But for Justin Herbert, we're going to take him over 37.5 pass attempts, minus 112. And we're going to jump on the other side as well. Kirk Cousins, over 39.5 attempts, minus 114, because he's at the top in pass attempts in the NFL. He's been at the top the last couple of years because the run game has not been effective for the Vikings. He has to put up a lot of yards. I was looking at his over 288 pass yards as well, minus 117. But I'm just going to be safe to take the pass attempts because that's what's been working for me, because he's thrown 44 in 2 games this year for the most part. And I see that not changing. Last 3 home games, he's hit that number, 39.5. So he's had 40 plus. So I don't see it changing today. And like we mentioned, both of these quarterbacks can put up a lot of points. The defenses are shaky for the most part. So I believe that both of these quarterbacks will cash their pass attempts definitely for the most part. So let's move on to this game. We have Miami coming home to face the Denver Broncos. And we do know that Miami's offense is very high powered. Tua back there throwing the ball. If he's protected, I believe that Tua can be a very effective quarterback if they can protect him. So we're going to take the over 1.5 touchdowns, minus 145. I know it's pretty juice, but hey, I believe the juice is worth the squeeze. For the most part, he's had 4 touchdowns in 2 games, and Denver's defense has given up 2 touchdowns, 8 out of their last 11 games to the quarterback. So I don't believe Denver can put up any points as well. I'm also on Miami today, minus the 6.5 full game, just full disclosure. Before as the prop, I believe Tua will probably get more than 2 touchdowns. But I just want to, take the minus 145. You can parlay it with something else that you feel comfortable with that can cash it that as well. But I believe this juice is worth it. He's going to have 2 touchdowns in my opinion. So Tua, over 1.5 touchdowns, minus 145 is that prop. Let's move over to here, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Indianapolis Colts. And I had a good chance to look at the Ravens, like I said, the first game versus the Texans. And they have a little weapon in Zay Flowers that I believe is going to be very, very productive today. Odell Beckham is out, so he's going to get a lot of targets. He's had 15 targets in 2 games. 13 receptions in 2 games. So Lamar Jackson is looking for him, and I believe that he can get into the secondary of the Colts, which has one of the worst secondaries in the league for the most part. And I believe Zay Flowers can find some spots, and especially if they get into the red zone, Lamar Jackson can easily look for him. So let's take Zay Flowers. Anytime touchdown, plus 179. The Colts have allowed 6 out of the last games to a touchdown to the receiver. So I believe he will be that receiver that Lamar Jackson will be targeting, and he can break one away. He's very fast, elusive. So, hey, let's see if Zay Flowers can break one away and get an anytime touchdown. Plus 179 is my problem. Now, let's move over to here. We have Miles Sanders for the Carolina Panthers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. And Seattle Seahawks defense is very shaky. And Miles Sanders, he's averaging 16 attempts in 2 games. So I believe that he's going to get a heavy load for the simple fact Bryce, the quarterback for Carolina is out right now, and the rookie. So they're bringing in Andy Dalton. So I don't believe that Andy Dalton is going to be there just to save the day. He's just there to maintain the offense, don't make mistakes, don't turn the ball over, and just, keep the ball, moving. And I believe Miles Sanders will get a lot of those attempts. They get into the red zone, they're definitely going to cash it with him on the touchdown. So Miles Sanders, anytime touchdown, I got it at plus 129. And also Seattle's defense, their O-line is still missing both of their tackles. Secondary's ravaged with injuries. So Carolina can come and also cover this game at plus 5. Can cover the 5. I didn't take it, but I believe Miles Sanders will catch his anytime touchdown for sure. And also Seattle, they've allowed a touchdown to the running back 15 out of their last 18 games. So they give up touchdowns to the running back position. So Miles Sanders should easily get a touchdown today. Nasty Nate. What's going on, Nasty Nate? Happy NFL Sunday to you, my guy. Let's see if we can get some money, sir. Because that's what we do. Trying to get this money. Let's go over here because I haven't talked about my game yet. Let's go over here, man. The Texans. We're going down to Jacksonville to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you follow the Texans and the Jags a couple years, history, 3 or 4, actually since 2018, the Texans are 9-1 versus Jacksonville. Now, not saying that the team is the same right now. A lot of those wins was Deshaun Watson, a more dynamic quarterback. But we have CJ Stroud, and he's a rookie. So I'm going to give him time to get familiar with the offense. This NFL now is just throwing these rookies in here. For the most part, they can't sit behind a veteran quarterback and learn and mentor. A lot of them can't do that. It's not fortunate that Justin Love was able to do that with Aaron Rodgers, So a lot of quarterbacks are thrown into the fire, see what you can do, learn on the fly, things like that. So CJ Stroud, he's having some trouble, but he's a rookie. And for the most part, he gets a lot of attempts. He's averaging 45.5 pass attempts in 2 games. So it lets me know the Texans aren't running the ball for the most part, so they're relying on him to make plays. So if they're going to continue to do that, let's go to the number 1 target that he's always looking for. Let's jump on Nico Collins, over 55.5 reception yards, minus 126, because Nico has been a very important factor for CJ Stroud. He's, 4 receptions, 65 yards versus Jacksonville last year, and he's averaging 113 in 2 games on 19 targets. And I expect Nico to get at least 10 targets today. And those 10 targets, he should get some catches and get some yards and get over 55.5 a lot of times because, the fact that the Jazz can put up points in bunches, I believe that the Texans are going to have to be throwing a lot. They're going to have to be throwing and keeping up the pace with them to stay in the game. So if he's going to be throwing a lot, I believe Nico will have a lot of those targets, and he should easily get that over 55.5 receiving yards. And we're going to jump to our kicker, Fairburn, over 1.5 field goals, plus money, plus 109. Very interesting that this is plus money because I did the research for Fairburn, and he has kicked 2 field goals versus Jacksonville, 8 out of the last 10 games that they have played. Now, for this to be a plus 109, do they know something I don't know? Injury, somewhere like that to where this number is plus money. But I'm just going to take it anyway because, like I said, I believe in consistency. So if you have been consistently doing something versus a team that I can find, I'm going to take that. And the fact that he's hit 8 out of the last 10 games, he's had 2 field goals versus Jacksonville. What's to say that he's not going to hit 2 today? I mean, who knows? Plus 109, I'm going to take that bet. Even though he don't make it, hey, I'm still going to feel comfortable that he's been doing this for the most part. And I feel good. I live with the result if he don't get it. But hey, let's cash the plus 109. Maybe they see something I'm not looking at. And he's also 8-2 in his last 10 road games to the over 1.5. So he kicks them very well on the road. So let's see why that number's plus money. Maybe they just want to get plus money the way. I don't know. But usually bookies don't do that. So for the most part, they know something that I don't know. But hey, I'm going to take a chance and take the bet. So for the most part, I believe that's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. Let's review this. We have Justin Herbert over 37.5 pass attempts, minus 112. And we also have Kirk Cousins over 39.5 pass attempts, minus 114. Both of these quarterbacks are playing today, and I believe both of them are going to be slinging the ball down the field, having opportunities to score, and I believe that score will go over the total as well. 54.5 is what I got. Now, Texans and Jacksonville, we have Nico Collins over 55.5 receiving yards. I believe C.J. Stroud has to find him today to keep up the pace of the Jacksonville scoring on the Texans. I'm taking the field goal kicker over 1.5 field goals plus 109 because I believe that he will cash 2 field goals because he's been doing it 8 out of the last 10 games versus Jacksonville. We're going to go to Zay Flowers, anytime touchdown. Baltimore versus the Colts. The Colts give up the touchdown to the wide receiver position, and I believe Lamar Jackson will be looking for Zay Flowers today to cash that touchdown. And we're going to go Miles Sanders, anytime touchdown, plus 129 versus Seattle, because Seattle has given up a touchdown to the running back position 15 out of their last 18 games, ladies and gentlemen. And last but not least, we have Tua, over 1.5 touchdowns, minus 145. He's had 2 touchdowns in each game that he's played so far. And Denver has given up 2 touchdowns to the quarterback position, 8 out of their last 11 games. I do believe that is correct. 8 out of the last 11 games, 2 touchdowns to the quarterback. So I believe Tua coming back home versus, Miami's back home versus Denver coming down. I believe Tua will get that 1.5 touchdown. He has a lot of targets. Waddle's out today, but I believe the targets that he still have, he'll be able to, produce and get that number. So that's what I got, ladies and gentlemen. Happy football Sunday to everybody. Let's see if we can get some money. And of course, I will be on Earl Sports Bets today on YouTube. Go follow. We're going to give out our picks today. Let's see if we can get some money. So until next time, those are my props. Let's see if we can cash today. And let's enjoy this NFL Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. So until then, Raw Words Podcast, LJ from H-Town. And of course, I will see y'all next Sunday.
Yeah, R-A-W, words being served, no concern and no trouble to get that dough. Money on my mind, if it's money all the time, we be pumping on the grind. If it's LJ from Houston, pulling up stats, you'll be pulling in stacks, hitting bookies from the back with no Vaseline. I need green and upsea quantities for a fiend, save the dreams for a game. This is H-Town, home of the lean, Astros is the team, and we rock it.